Welcome back to the BSN channel, also known as the Black Star Name channel. Today, I'm going to be making some nice beef stock. Obviously, there's a reason why I'm using the beef stock. Today is St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day for whoever's celebrating. I'm going to be using this beef stock for my nice Irish Guinness and beef stew. You can also use it for Irish stew, traditional Irish stew. But I'll be using this for Guinness stew. I might use it for Irish stew because I'll keep the rest in the fridge nice and safe. But yeah, I'm going to show you how I do my beef stock. So let's start with the ingredients. Peace out. Okay, so right here, I know straight away you can see that marrow. We got some nice beef bones chopped up straight from the butchers. Yeah, they were frozen, don't judge me. It is what it is. Trying to save money out here. This is probably the cheapest thing on the list. Was to get some nice bone with the marrow. I've got a mixture of bone, but I tried to get the ones with the marrow. I tried to get some knuckle, but wasn't possible. So this is the best I could get. I've got some big ones, I've got some small ones. Over here we've got some nice hard beef. I can't tell you which part of the beef or cow it is because even the butcher didn't know. Nah, I kid you not, the butcher didn't know. That's about a pound of hard beef. This is about 4 pounds of bones. You gotta make sure you see the marrow right there, in the middle, right here. That's the marrow. You can see that right here. This is the marrow. Okay, that's what you want for the stock. Over here we got about 1 to 2 onions. They're not large, quite medium. 3 cloves of garlic. About 15 peppercorns. I've got a mixture, brown, black. Got 1 red one there. That's like 2 teaspoons of a mixture of thyme, parsley, marjoram. Some people just use parsley. And I've got 1 bay leaf. I don't usually use bay leaf, but because I've got one, I might as well use it. We got a handful of celery tops, and over here it's about 2 carrots chopped 1 or 2 inches a piece. And on the left here is a scale. Don't judge me. I didn't have a proper scale. I had to put it in a bowl and do it this way. I know, embarrassing. I might as well remove this from the top before the matron gets angry. And over here I've got my tray, oven tray. I've already preheated the oven to about 200 Celsius. I think that's roughly 400 degrees Fahrenheit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bones in, the hard beef, the onions and the carrots. I'm going to oil them so they don't burn or char, as they say. That's why you got to check them. If they start charring, lower the temperature immediately. It's going to stay in the oven for about 45 minutes, 40 minutes. And then when that's done, I'm going to put all of this in 1 pot. And then what remains in the tray, we're going to add some hot water and we're going to scrape that up nicely. Scrape it up real good. Get that nice gravy. And then put it in the pot. So that's basically essentially what I'm going to do. And then you let it simmer. So I've basically told you what I'm going to do. Jeez. Look at you. Look at you guys looking all oiled up. Yeah. Well, straight in the oven now. So yeah, I've got my onions, nice bones, hard beef, carrots, nice and oiled up, ready for the photo shoot. Anyway, enough of the jokes. This is going to go in the oven for about 40 minutes, as I said before. So let's put this in. I don't really want it to char, so I'm going to keep this in the middle. We'll see how it goes. Trial and error, people. No, I'm joking. It will go alright. But leaving it in the middle, it's less risk that it's going to burn. So let's do this. Peace. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes. Taking the tray out. Gonna turn the meat and the bones. This is what it's looking like so far. Now you can really see the marrow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The marrow is fighting back, it's fighting back, it's fighting back. Anyways, yeah. It's smelling good so far. So I'm gonna turn this around and put this back in. So let me turn this around quickly. Okay, so as you can see, I've turned around the bones and the meat. There's still meat on that bone. But let me show you what I mean by bone marrow. You can see that right there. Oh, it's fighting back. Ooh. You can see that right there, right in the middle. It's all gooey now, it's nice. Gooey, gooey. I like that you're getting that real rich smell from the bone, the marrow. Just works well with the onions. Oh. So anyways, I've turned this around. I'm going to put this back in the oven. I've decided to lower the temperature and I might leave it in there longer. So I might leave it there for maybe another 30 minutes. So a little update. I've further decreased the temperature to 160 Celsius. Because I need to go out and get my Guinnesses and stuff like that. So I have to make sure it doesn't burn. So I've brought it a little bit more to the front. So it's going to stay in there a bit longer, maybe instead of 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So yeah, that's the little update. Come back when it's done and I'll tell you how long it really took. It might be how much I said, which was, how much has passed now? Almost 40 minutes has passed. So it should be roughly less than an hour or hour on the dot. Peace. Okay, so after an hour, this has been done. In a way, I kind of wish I hadn't reduced the temperature. So that's very much an optional thing. So I'm going to remove the meat, the bones, the vegetables and put it in this pot. And then on a low temperature, I'm going to use these two cookers underneath here. Lightly, I'm going to get some water and scrape it. So I'm going to come back at that point, just before I scrape it. Cool. So as you can see, all the contents of the tray has been put into the pot. Now along with that, I'm going to put the rest of the ingredients in. The tray is still over fire, but very low temperature. So I'm going to put the garlic, the peppercorn, my mixed herbs and bay leaf in. Yep. And my celery. Now while this is going on, I've got some hot water, half a cup or a cup. I've already scraped the bottom. Oh yeah, this hurts people, but it's cool. Oh, nice. Oh, that smells good. As I said before, I do wish I had not reduced the temperature too much. There would be more flavour, in my opinion. But as I was going out, I asked my mum to look after. She said turn it down just in case I forget. In the end I came back, so she didn't have to do anything. But really this should look like a gravy, but this is like a very light gravy, so this is not the consistency I wanted. But anyway, the main thing is I'm scraping this all off. I scraped it before and it's going to go in with the stock pot. Okay, so as you can see, the little gravy I had in the tray is in here. I've got a lot of cold water in here. I've got this on high temperature until it boils, and then I'm going to bring it back down again. So it's similar to like making Ghanaian soup in a way. You let it get to a boiling temperature, then you bring it back down so it can simmer. That's when the real flavour is going to come out, and then the fat can rise to the top. That's why I don't want to stir it, because I don't want the fat to like mix in. I want to try and sieve it out as we go along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this partially. So sorry about the shaking. Like this. Do it like this, and I'll keep checking it. See if the fat is rising to the top. Okay, so that's boiling away. Looks angry right now. Okay, so we're gonna bring this right low so it can simmer. Yeah. Low temperature. Again, sorry for the shaking. It smells good. It's smelling good right now. So I'm gonna leave this partially open loosely right here. And that's gonna simmer for like 3 hours minimum. Okay, welcome back. As you can see, it's still simmering away. It's been simmering for about an hour now. Now what I'm going to do now is, actually, I don't know if you can see, but all of this is oil. So I'm going to start getting a spoon and taking some of this out. Systematically, every 30 minutes to an hour, you need to try and remove the fat that's on the top. There's always going to be fat in it. The flavour is from the fat. So let's begin this long process. Peace. Okay, that's some of the fat out. It's a tiny bit of broth in there, stock, which you don't really want to do, so take your time. I was trying to rush it, but it's still mostly fat I've taken out. I'm going to let it simmer more so more fat gets pushed to the top. Again, please do not stir this. Please don't. That's the worst thing you could do. So I'm going to cover this again, come back next hour. As you can see, it's done. My stock has been done. I've taken out some stock right here. This is for me to use for my Guinness stew. And I'm gonna bottle this up and put this in the fridge or freezer. What I did to drain this is I used the colander first. Then I used a sieve, which has, you know, smaller wire meshes to get rid of the little pieces of like spices in there. You could do it twice. And I took out some further fat, but you have to do that before you do anything, otherwise once you move everything the fat mixes in. But anyway, it's impossible to remove all the fat seeing as the flavour is in the fat. It's just you don't want too much fat. So yeah, there you go, some nice stock. To be honest, if you want it to be more tasty, I advise using more time. Maybe leave it in the oven longer, and also leave it to boil longer. Some people leave it to boil for like 6 hours, and trust me, it tastes way better than my one. So that's just my advice. Take your time with it. Have like a day in advance when you want to do this. But still, this is better than nothing. The flavour's there. It smells very rich. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like. If you didn't, feel free to dislike. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Peace, and have a beautiful day.